Tomorrow, the 3rd of May 2026, the cosmos orchestrates a masterclass in extreme structural transformation, profound karmic revelation, and undeniable, concrete material reality. We are waking up to a sky defined not by gentle, ethereal transitions or comforting illusions, but by a heavy, monumental, and historically significant celestial convergence that will violently test the foundational integrity of your entire existence. Do not look to the heavens tomorrow expecting light-hearted serendipity, easy manifestations, or unearned strokes of luck. Instead, prepare your physical vessel and your deepest psychological architecture for an exceptionally rare and incredibly demanding alignment. The monumental convergence of the great outer planets Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn operating under the heavy, grounding influence of the Sun in Taurus and the deeply introspective, purging energy of the waning gibbous moon. This is an astrological signature of immense historical weight. It is the violent, unavoidable collision of massive expansion, total destruction, unyielding discipline, and the cold, hard dirt of the physical world. To successfully navigate the profound, crushing depths of tomorrow without being shattered by its immense energetic gravity, we must meticulously dissect exactly what this monolithic convergence demands of your life, your wealth, your body, and your ultimate destiny. Let us begin by understanding the sheer, terrifying majesty of the forces at play on May 3. Jupiter is the planet of massive expansion, grand vision, and the magnification of truth. Pluto is the lord of the underworld, the raw, bleeding edge of your primal survival, representing absolute destruction, hidden power, and the agonizing process of death and rebirth. Saturn is the lord of karma, the great cosmic taskmaster, representing time, severe restriction, brutal reality, immovable boundaries, and the absolute, non-negotiable necessity of ironclad discipline. When these three titanic forces converge, they create an energetic pressure cooker designed to completely obliterate flawed systems and aggressively mandate the construction of new, impenetrable realities. Furthermore, this intense planetary summit is grounded by the Sun in Taurus. Taurus represents the physical earth, material wealth, bodily survival, and the slow, methodical accumulation of absolute security. The universe is demanding that this massive psychological and structural transformation must happen not in your imagination, but directly in the physical, tangible world. Adding to this complex matrix is the waning gibbous moon. Following the intense climax of the recent full moon, the waning gibbous phase is the crucial period of dissemination, toxic elimination, and the deliberate, conscious release of what no longer serves your ultimate trajectory. Tomorrow, these vastly different, contradictory archetypes are forcefully crammed into the exact same room, demanding that you integrate their agonizing lessons simultaneously. The vast expansion of Jupiter and the destructive power of Pluto are being chained down by the heavy, leaden weight of Saturn, all while the Taurus Sun forces you to look directly at your bank account and your physical health. The universe is forcefully asking you, are your material structures built on bedrock, or are they built on sand? Are you willing to burn down the comfortable illusions of your life to secure your permanent sovereignty, or will you surrender to the crushing weight of your own karma? When we turn our unwavering gaze toward the sacred architecture of your wealth, your expanding financial empire, and the ultimate trajectory of your career, the monumental convergence of May 3 dictates an atmosphere of ruthless pragmatism, extreme auditing, and profound, strategic endurance. You must deeply understand that wealth generated under the crushing, restrictive influence of a Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn alignment is absolutely not fast. It is not easy, and it categorically does not come from reckless gambling or fragile, wishful thinking. Money tomorrow responds exclusively to the heavy, grounded vibration of absolute mastery, unquestioned authority, painful delayed gratification, and agonizingly hard, relentless, bone-deep work. If you have been desperately searching the shadows for a convenient, painless shortcut to massive prosperity, or if you have built your financial security on manipulative tactics and hidden leverage, tomorrow will harshly and violently expose the cracks in your empire. Pluto will reveal the hidden rot in your financial partnerships. Jupiter will magnify the scale of your debts or your true potential. And Saturn will demand that you pay the exact karmic price for your past decisions. The cosmos is unapologetically demanding that you completely strip away the comforting illusions of overnight success. Instead, you are being forced to stand up and face the cold, concrete reality of building a permanent, unshakable financial legacy, laboriously placing one heavy stone upon another. True financial sovereignty now requires the ruthless precision of a master architect and the cold detachment of an executioner. This is an incredibly powerful day for establishing long-term, unbreakable financial structures, severing toxic business partnerships that drain your resources, and making the difficult, agonizing cuts to your budget that you have been terrified to face. The energy of tomorrow fiercely supports the individual who is willing to look at their investment portfolio and their material reality with cold, unemotional, surgical precision. Do not waste your precious energy trying to save a failing, flawed economic system. Instead, use the destructive power of Pluto to clear the financial rubble, and use the architectural genius of Saturn to draft a new, impenetrable blueprint for your absolute wealth. The fortune you begin to build tomorrow will be agonizingly slow to materialize, but because it is forged under the extreme pressure of these outer planets, it will be permanent, unshakable, and capable of lasting for generations. Regarding the intricate machinery of your physical body and your energetic health, the celestial events of the 3rd of May 2026 issue a severe, inescapable warning regarding the physical manifestation of deep-seated trauma, chronic stress, and the extreme danger of resisting the purging process of the waning moon. The physical vessel is going to bear the direct, agonizing brunt of this cosmic heavy lifting. Saturn rules the skeletal system, the bones, the teeth, the joints, and the structural integrity of the body. Pluto rules the regenerative systems, cellular mutation, and the deepest, most primal survival instincts. The Sun in Taurus rules the throat, the neck, and the physical need for grounded comfort. When these massive forces collide, the internal pressure can easily manifest as sudden, intense joint stiffness, severe tension locking up the neck and shoulders, overwhelming physical lethargy, or a profound, heavy sense of toxic overload. You may feel as though you are literally carrying a mountain of ancient karma on your back. You absolutely cannot aggressively exercise your way out of this specific energetic signature. Pushing your physical limits tomorrow will only result in structural injury and profound exhaustion. The absolute best way to manage your health is through highly disciplined, agonizingly slow, and intensely focused somatic release practices. Heavy deep tissue work, structured stretching, and slow-moving restorative yoga that focuses entirely on skeletal alignment are deeply supported. Because the waning gibbous moon demands a physical detox, you must consciously command your cells to release the venom they are holding. You must aggressively hydrate your system with pure water, consume foods that are deeply grounding and mineral-rich to support your bones, and prioritize extreme, uncompromising physical rest. If you feel the emotional and physical pressure building, do not explode outward into chaotic action. Retreat into absolute silence, sit with a straight, unbroken spine, and breathe the dark, heavy tension completely down into the earth. Your physical survival tomorrow depends entirely on your ability to process extreme, karmic weight without allowing it to shatter your biological foundation. To completely dominate and harness the overwhelming, monolithic power of the 3rd of May 2026, you must implement a tactical, hour-by-hour timeline that turns this oppressive cosmic weather into your ultimate strategic advantage. Action tomorrow must be cold, calculated, meticulously planned, and relentlessly consistent. When you wake up, do not allow yourself to linger in bed or succumb to the heavy, leaden fog of physical exhaustion. Rise immediately with the terrifying precision of a general surveying a battlefield. Your morning must be defined by strict, unyielding, solitary routine. Do not look at your phone. Do not allow the chaotic, demanding thoughts of the external world to pollute your mental architecture. Spend the first 20 minutes of your day in absolute silence, physically writing out the exact, non-negotiable structures you are building and the toxic elements you are permanently releasing. You must write these lists not as passing thoughts, but as binding karmic contracts with your own soul. As you move into the core working hours of the afternoon, the energetic pressure of the planetary convergence will reach its most intensely pressurized peak. You will inevitably face roadblocks, frustrating delays, structural failures, or individuals who fiercely oppose your progress and challenge your authority. When you hit a wall tomorrow, you absolutely must not react with hot-headed anger, nor should you collapse into helpless, victimized despair. You must react with the cold, dead-eyed calculation of Saturn. Analyze the massive obstacle. Detach yourself entirely from the emotional frustration and systematically dismantle the problem piece by piece with chilling objectivity. When you communicate, deal strictly in absolute facts, physical deadlines, and concrete realities. This is the hour to execute the hardest, most physically and mentally demanding work on your desk. Lean entirely into the agonizing friction of discipline. By the time the evening arrives, the profound, bone-deep exhaustion of carrying this cosmic weight will settle heavily into your physical structure. Your non-negotiable directive for the night is total structural decompression. Disconnect entirely from all external communication. Create a physical sanctuary of total silence and low light. Reflect on the immense, unbreakable discipline you maintained throughout the day. Go to sleep with the solemn, powerful understanding that by refusing to break under the immense pressure of the Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn convergence, you have fundamentally upgraded your internal operating system, transforming yourself from a fragile creature into an unbreakable force of nature, perfectly positioned to command the wealth and reality you deserve. While the monumental gravity of this great planetary convergence undeniably crushes and reshapes the reality of every single individual on Earth, the geometry of the cosmos directs the absolute maximum intensity of this alignment toward 3 specific zodiac signs. For these 3 archetypes, the 3rd of May 2026 is not just a difficult day. It is a profound evolutionary choke point, a mandatory rite of passage that will permanently alter the trajectory of their lives. The very first and most profoundly impacted sign of this entire celestial convergence is Taurus. Because the sun is currently illuminating your sign, grounding all of this massive outer planet energy directly into your first house of self, core identity, and physical vitality, you are bearing the absolute epicenter of this material transformation. Tomorrow is a brutal crucible of immense, unavoidable physical and psychological pressure. By your astrological nature, you are built to endure, to stubbornly maintain your ground, and to protect your peace. But tomorrow, the universe is piling the destructive power of Pluto and the heavy karmic demands of Saturn directly onto your strong shoulders. You will feel an overwhelming, suffocating pressure to completely rebuild your identity and your relationship with material security. The universe is forcefully stripping away any remaining tolerance you possess for stagnation. Under this immense gravitational pull, you may experience a sudden, brutal, and profoundly sobering realization regarding your physical health or your true financial independence. You might finally see clearly that the stubborn comfort zone you have exhausted yourself defending is actually the very prison keeping you small. Do not fear this devastating realization. Use this immense, crushing pressure not as a reason to resist, but as the exact fuel needed to completely rebuild your empire from the deepest bedrock up. Violently and unapologetically reject any habit or attachment that does not serve your ultimate, long-lasting legacy. Step fully into your role as the unquestioned, unyielding master of the material realm. The second zodiac sign thrust directly, violently, and without a single shred of cosmic mercy into the cold, transformative fires of the 3rd of May, 2026, is Capricorn. With your ancient, heavy, and deeply demanding ruling planet, Saturn, acting as the absolute, immovable core anchor in this massive planetary convergence, your entire energetic operating system is going to be tested to its absolute, breaking limits. You are the undisputed sign of the Stoic architect, the relentless, exhausted climber who thrives exclusively on rigid structure, unwavering discipline, and the endless pursuit of absolute, unquestioned authority in the physical, material world. Tomorrow, however, the destructive, illuminating power of Pluto and the massive, expansive demands of Jupiter are forcefully and violently crashing into the rigid, carefully constructed walls of your reality. You are going to feel an intense, almost agonizing level of internal friction, a profound psychological earthquake, as your desperate, white-knuckled desire to control every single outcome is suddenly met with terrifying outer planet forces that demand total surrender and complete structural rebirth. Capricorn, the universe is forcefully and unapologetically demanding that you finally, bravely look at the actual, bleeding cost of your endless ambition. Are you genuinely building a lasting legacy that deeply serves the evolution of your soul? Or are you merely constructing a heavy, suffocating golden cage of endless obligation and societal expectation? You have spent lifetimes carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, convincing yourself that profound suffering and relentless exhaustion are the only valid currencies for success. But tomorrow, this massive convergence exposes the fatal cracks in that exact philosophy. If you rigidly refuse to adapt tomorrow, if you desperately try to force a failing, draining system to survive through sheer, brute force of will, you will not succeed. You will only break your own back against the impenetrable, freezing stone walls of your own accumulating karma. You are being cosmically called to fundamentally mature your inner authority. You must learn the agonizing, terrifying art of allowing your outdated structures, your dead-end goals, your toxic business partnerships, and your draining personal responsibilities to completely die so that vastly superior, authentic ones can be built in their place. This requires a terrifying level of vulnerability that you instinctively despise. Yet, if you can successfully submit your desperate desire for ultimate, rigid control to the strict, unforgiving discipline of transformational honesty, you will transition permanently. You will evolve from a burdened, exhausted manager of daily tasks into a masterful, untouchable sovereign, entirely capable of commanding physical and financial empires that last for centuries, completely free from the exhausting need to micromanage every single heavy stone. The third sign destined for a monumental, reality-shattering, and deeply uncomfortable psychological experience on this specific, heavy day is Scorpio. With your modern ruling planet, the vast, terrifying, and profoundly powerful Pluto, playing a central, ruthlessly destructive role in this massive planetary summit, you are standing directly in the exact crosshairs of a profound, inescapable, and deeply sobering awakening. You are the undisputed sign of the intense mystic, the psychological detective, who naturally and comfortably exists in the fluid, dark realms of hidden power, ancient trauma, and deep, complicated emotional truth. You navigate the invisible underworld with absolute, terrifying ease. However, on the 3rd of May 2026, the harsh, concrete, and unyielding reality of the Taurus sun, combined with the restrictive, disciplinary, and cold iron hammer of Saturn, are forcefully and violently invading your private, shadowy depths. Tomorrow, the surprisingly comfortable narrative of intense emotional suffering, secret betrayals, and complex psychological entanglement that you have been safely hiding within is going to be violently burned away by this unforgiving cosmic convergence. The practical, heavy, material responsibilities and the grounded, undeniably concrete financial truths you have been desperately avoiding by hyper-focusing on your internal emotional world will forcefully demand your immediate, objective, and cold-blooded attention. You may find yourself suddenly facing harsh, undeniable, and panic-inducing realities regarding the exact, unvarnished state of your physical bank account, your severe lack of daily structural discipline, or the actual, staggering material cost of maintaining your ongoing emotional chaos. You can no longer pay your literal rent or secure your physical future with deep, profound feelings or spiritual intensity. The absolute worst, most destructive, and most dangerous thing you can possibly do tomorrow, Scorpio, is to attempt to manipulate the physical situation, to defensively play the dark, misunderstood victim, or to dive even deeper into the paralyzing shadows of isolation and paranoia. The universe is aggressively and uncompromisingly demanding that you immediately ground your vast, terrifying psychological power directly into the physical, messy, and undeniable dirt of material reality. You must purposefully and consciously use the cold, disciplinary, and restrictive energy of Saturn to build a massive, impenetrable financial and physical dam for your overwhelming, chaotic emotional waters. By bravely facing the cold, hard, completely unromantic facts of your actual material life, your accumulating debts, your lack of daily routine, your failing physical health, you will completely burn away the limiting, self-sabotaging illusions that have kept you secretly poor, dependent, or materially unstable for years. You will finally, definitively clear the absolutely necessary physical path for your immense transformational gifts to stop being merely theoretical and to finally manifest into tangible, powerful, and wildly prosperous physical reality. You are being cosmically ordered to physically monetize and structurally secure your absolute mastery of the psychological depths. In ultimate and final conclusion, tomorrow, the 3rd of May 2026, is a day of monumental, historical gravity, intense, bone-crushing structural pressure, and absolutely necessary karmic suffering that will echo for decades. It is a defining, unavoidable day where the deeply feeling, sensitive human soul is forcefully required to strip off its delicate, comforting illusions and wear the heavy, impenetrable armor of cold iron and concrete reality. It is a rare, terrifying moment in time where the comfortable, deceptive illusions of our material lives and our fragile egos are violently and unapologetically shattered by the heavy, swinging hammer of undeniable, objective truth, and where the universe forcefully, mercilessly tests the foundational integrity of absolutely everything we have ever built, promised, or claimed to be. You absolutely cannot escape the immense, crushing, and pervasive pressure of this extremely rare Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn planetary convergence, nor should you even attempt to run from it, for cowardly running will only guarantee that you are completely crushed by the falling debris of your own avoidance. You must constantly, fiercely remember that it is only this exact, agonizing, and sustained level of extreme environmental and psychological pressure that successfully creates the flawless, completely indestructible diamond of the highest possible human potential. By deeply understanding the highly demanding, ruthless, and entirely uncompromising nature of these heavy cosmic energies, by aggressively and consciously applying extreme, unwavering, and almost militant discipline to your smallest, most mundane daily actions, and by maintaining an intense, fearless, and unbroken psychological focus on actively constructing an entirely new material reality based exclusively on absolute, verifiable truth, you can expertly utilize this heavy, punishing alignment to fundamentally secure your permanent, unshakable legacy. Speak your deepest, most terrifying boundaries into existence with cold, unshakable, and absolute authority, refusing to bend even a single microscopic fraction of an inch for the temporary comfort or the manipulative demands of others. Vigorously, intentionally protect your delicate physical vessel from the overwhelming, toxic weight of this atmospheric karmic stress by prioritizing profound rest and walk boldly, stoically, and with terrifying, mechanical discipline directly into the absolute, unquestioned mastery of your own spectacular fate. The entire cosmos demands absolutely nothing less than your ultimate, undeniable, and supreme best tomorrow, and it is entirely within your sovereign, divine, and unyielding power to deliver it without a single moment of hesitation.